Everybody's waiting. That's what it says.
Yeah, my one fan said, let's see, mine isn't working. I wonder what she means. I guess she means her. All right. Well, do I have to start over again? Because I had a couple of good one-liners, a couple of good zingers there. All right. So, yeah, I mean, Chris Jericho is a guy that, I mean, I followed him for, 34 years now since I saw him in WCW in 1990. Just, I mean, always has been one of my favorites. Great career, phenomenal career, and always the first guy, it seems like, I think when Kamala was ready to lose his house, Chris Jericho was the first guy to pony up. So, it's one of those guys, like, I don't know what's going on, but I just hope that there's nothing really that, it's just there's smoke, but there's no fire in this case, because he's one of my favorites, and I'd hate to think he was. That's what she said.
Lorena Bobbitt.
Yeah. I got host.
Uh-oh. What is the question again? All right, well, welcome to the day of social media and all that stuff, where whatever you say is true, even though you can't prove it, or, as they say, it's not what you can prove, it's what you know, and all that, vice versa, and all that stuff. I think I took a line out of Training Day there, but anyways, the thing here is, I just find the timing a little bit off again. The morning of AEW pay-per-view World's End, and out comes this Nick Hausman character saying there's unsubstantiated, unsupported claims of a inappropriate encounter or whatever you have it in the AEW locker room. And of course, Chris Jericho is named. Now, as far as I know nothing. We all know nothing. We don't know what happened. I don't even know who was on Epstein's Island until that list came out today. And that was like 10 years ago, for God's sakes. What I can honestly tell you is that right now, it doesn't look like it has zero track. It's unsubstantiated. It's unsupported. There's nothing out there. There's nothing in the legal system and all that stuff. Tony Khan comes out at the beginning of the pay-per-view and makes a statement saying that we have a world-class, locker room, and that, the doors are always open. It's safe environment and all that stuff. But what's really happening here? I don't get it. Jericho was at backstage last night. He performed on the pay-per-view Saturday night. I just don't, I'm not buying it until there's that factual proof that you can see and all that stuff. Like I said, in this day and age in social media, it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. And,
and that is time. Nice job, Joe. Messages. Nice job. I guess we're having some audio issues. I think I fixed them. Oh, yeah, this is the challenge of being live, guys.
I hear you.
So yeah, Joe, it looks like nice round. You got 13 there, and looks like we have Dan is the last man up on this one. So
my title, no matter what.
Dan, you got 10 minutes to wrap up.
Right. Joe did a good Sergeant Schultz imitation. I know nothing.
So Champ, you ready?
Nice.
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
All right. Well, regardless of whether or not the accusations against Chris Jericho are true, I think the important thing that came out of this is the social media spotlight that was shined on his wife, who's apparently a total cunt, racist, bigoted piece of shit. So fuck her. I just want to put that out there. But as for Jericho, I think it's in 2 points. One, if you remember when the accusations first came out against Vince McMahon, Jericho's response was very awkward compared to other wrestlers. He basically said, oh, he had an affair, paid the woman off, and everyone was consensual adults. Like, move on, who cares? Really kind of weird response from someone who's not speaking from experience. But now, as for the way it was handled, I think the sad thing is, whether he's guilty or not, it's a distraction. If you remember during his match, the crowd was chanting NDA and booing him, and you could visually see Sting and some of the other people in the match getting aggravated at the distraction. And that's exactly what it is right now. It's a distraction, even if it comes out as untrue. But you look at the list of wrestlers who have gone through this, and Vince McMahon and your Joey Ryans. But AEW is not exactly clean. I mean, they kind of went nowhere, but everybody seems to forget Darby Allin was accused of something earlier. I mean, obviously, your Joey Ryan. I mean, who would have thought somebody whose gimmick was making people touch his penis against their will turned out to be a sex offender? Big fucking shock there. But I think and I apologize for cursing. It's the sailor in me coming out today. But no, I think it's telling. But as of right now, it doesn't seem to have any ground. But we'll see how it goes.
Nice job, Dan. Nice job.
Survey says,
and Dan's coming out in the lead, and Mike's in the chat room picking on me. It looks like calling me the new sleepy guy. All right, Mike. Yeah, Mike, you come in here, try to do the production, the direction, and host at the same time. There's a couple more buttons you got to push.
Yeah.
So, anyway, nice job, guys. Dan is in the lead. The champ's holding on tight. Let's get to the next question. We got a limited time here. Let's see. So, Greg Valentine made some harsh comments about Brutus Beefcake's wife, Missy, in an interview with James of WSI. He repeatedly called her an acronym, see you next Tuesday. Yeah. He was then accused in another video of making homophobic slurs towards his former partner. Do you think these will affect his legacy and reputation as a wrestler? Do you think he owes Beefcake an apology and his wife an apology? And do you think Do you think we know too much about these wrestlers' lives nowadays outside of the ring? And it's going to be Benny's going to be up, and let's get the timer off for him. And Benny, you are on the 30.
All right. So, yeah, I mean, to a certain point, I think we're getting to the point where it's too much information. I remember as a kid, we didn't even know our teachers' first names. And somehow it would leak out, his name is Melvin, or, her name is Agatha. And we were giddy that we knew this information about our teacher. But, now, I mean, why is Valentine? I think he's been trash talking Bruno Sammartino as well lately. So I think it's one of these cases where somebody just wants to make themselves relevant. Why do you need to publicly air anything about Brutus Beefcake's wife? And that's supposedly your friend. Do I think it will tarnish his legacy? No. I mean, a lot of us, we have Greg Valentine is etched in our mind as one of the greatest wrestlers ever. His matches with Backlund. I mean, he just, his time as Intercontinental Champion, his rivalry with Tito Santana, putting Tito on the shelf. That I just choose to remember Greg Valentine that way. The guy that, put the, whose leg did he break? Did he break Strongbow's leg?
And Wahoo's.
Wahoo, yeah.
Wow. Yeah. That's the Greg, I want to remember these guys from back then. I don't want to hear some 74-year-old guy rant about somebody else's wife. It just, it's just not cool.
Nice job, Benny. And you are in the lead with 22 points. Nice. And next up we have, looks like Joe's going up. Get Joe up and get a timer up for him. And Joe, you are on the 30.
All right, here we go again. Welcome to the age of social media, where one generation who grew up with wrestling magazines meets now everything that you say is true and all that stuff. Look I've met Greg Valentine. I've met Brutus Beefcake. Matter of fact, I went to high school with Melissa at North Quincy High School. She's a North Quincy High School graduate. Whenever I've encountered her, she seems fine. So whether or not this is a mark or a show or whatever, these podcasts are a dime a dozen now. I used to do them as well. You get that one comment from someone and it just blows up to for total disregard for everybody involved. Now, Greg Valentine's been on the indie circuit / convention circuit for some years now. These guys are trying to stay relevant. So these reporters, these podcasters, these journalists are always trying to push these guys to the next level to say, hey, what can you tell us about this or that? And lo and behold, he goes ahead and he drops the F and C word about Brutus Beefcake's wife. That's great. Fine. Do we know them personally? No. Do they have a fight or a falling out? I have no idea. It's totally up to them. But why do you have to air your dirty laundry out on a podcast? If that's so true and you have all these great stories, write a book. Make some real money, and we'll go ahead and read those and substantiate these things. This whole avenue of podcasting now, people just trying to get that one headline, that one sentence, and it's just taking it too far.
Nice job, Joe.
All right.
Nice job. Where do we end up with that? Oh, Joe's taking over the lead. Pretty good lead there too. Nice job. Let's see. We've got Dan. Looks like Dan's up next. Let's get you up there.
Killing me.
All right, guys. Feel free to banter while in between me getting the set back up. And then Dan, go.
All right. Well, before we get into what Valentine said, maybe you guys can know. Can someone tell me when exactly Greg Valentine finished morphing into Mama Fratelli from the Goonies? Have you noticed that visual comparison? I mean, it's ridiculous. But no, to get to what you were saying, what he said about Brutus Beefcake's wife. I mean, honestly, I don't want to sound cruel, but who cares? Like, yeah, it was horrible that he said it, but I don't think anyone was thinking Greg Valentine is a phenomenal human being and a true gentleman and scholar. As for what he said about his partner, the offensive homophobic language, that's never acceptable to say, period, even as a joke. I mean, Benny and I had a guest on the show that used some of the language to quote someone and couldn't profusely apologize enough for having to say it in telling a story that someone else said it, which is what you should do. No, it's disgusting that he said it. It's horrible that he said it. Valentine should be ashamed of himself. Is he going to apologize? No. Can you think of anybody on the circuit today that probably cares less about what Twitter thinks of their personality or person as it's no. Valentine's, I don't think he's going to matter. As for the wrestlers, in the social media age, it's almost impossible to be famous today and not have everyone just know your life in and out, which obviously kayfabe's long been dead. But what you can do is keep it to yourself. Look at the interviews Mark Calloway's done. He kept to himself until after he retired The Undertaker. Then, hey, bring the cameras into my home and here's who I really am and blah, blah, blah. There were no videos. No one was doing that crazy stuff. No, he should have just kept his mouth shut.
That is time. Nice job, Dan. Nice job. Let's see where we ended up.
Drum roll, please.
Ooh.
Oh, neck and neck.
So, and now we have last but not least, we have Mr. President Phil DeCesare. Get Phil up, and Phil, you are on the 30.
I'm not going to pretend to be offended. I didn't actually hear everything. I've just heard the description. I think I heard a little bit of what Valentine said about Brutus's wife. I didn't hear so much what he said about Brutus himself, but. Again, I'm more intrigued, I think, and concerned, I think, too. And we mentioned, how powerful social media is now, and we get to hear these guys almost on a daily basis. And what this really brings to light, I think, almost more than anything, is how much these guys might have been suffering from CTE, from TBI, these sorts of things, too. Are we seeing some of these folks kind of degenerate in real time here? Is that what's actually happening? And if that is, it's obviously it's very concerning. And so, or is it more of a work, or is it more of this? Maybe is it an arrangement between the two of them? I don't know. I mean, keeping them both relevant. I don't know. It's hard to believe that Valentine would turn so quickly, abruptly, and severely against someone he was so close to. So I don't know. Is it a work, or is this just the ravages of age and years in a sport with tremendous head trauma. Time's going to tell. I think we're going to see more of this, not less of it. Don't think we should be too judgmental or too harsh in our judgment anyway. Yeah, there are things that you shouldn't say, absolutely. But, is this how they operate in real life? Is this how they talk about one another? I mean, after all, they're overgrown high school
right,
kids,
Phil,
really.
Now let's see where we are. Ooh. Tied up.
Yeah, filter is one of their strong points.
Yeah.
So nice job, guys. Nice job. But listen, for in the essence of time, because we only have about 20 minutes left, I'm going to make this a cutoff round, and 2 people are going to disappear after this round. So you guys better bring it this round, because then we'll have the final. So let's see which question. I'm gonna have to cut out one of these guys.
The fix is in.
I'm gonna bring my brass knuckles to New York, Bruce. Watch out.
You've got brass knuckles, but I've got the deadliest weapon in wrestling, a roll of coins.
Nicely done.
Here's the Cluna.
I've got a taped popsicle stick.
What happened?
Okay, let's see. Just getting everything reset so we can get to this next round. I had to do a couple of things to make that happen. And Joe, you're going to be going up first this time. And let's see, here's the question. It's coming up fast, and we have some participants locked in. Who is this year's winner of the Royal Rumble, men's and women's? Who will they challenge for, and what title at WrestleMania?
God.
Oh, my Lord.
Let's see. And Joe, you're on the 30, and let's go.
Royal Rumble winner for the women's. My goodness, the list is so long, but I'm going to have to go with Mercedes Moné, because I really do believe she's headed to the WWE no matter what you hear. I think she's going to come back and, do her thing. For the men's side, that's a tough one, because The Rock threw a wrench into everybody's plans this past Monday night on Raw. I would have to probably strongly suggest that The Rock's probably going to make some type of appearance at the Royal Rumble, but I don't think he'll be the winner of the Royal Rumble. I'm going to have to go with a repeater. I'm going to have to go with Cody Rhodes, because he's going to have to try and stay relevant at this point, because whoever wins the Rumble, yeah, we'll go to Mania, but there's going to be a lot of changes along the way to WrestleMania. But I really have to say at this point, because this is a really tough question, I'll say Cody Rhodes, but in the back of my mind, it's got to be CM Punk too as well. I mean, I know I'm changing, I'm juggling and all that stuff, and it's a tough question. I think a lot is going to change between now and the Royal Rumble. I think whoever we predict that's going to win the Royal Rumble today, it's going to change, because the landscape of the WWE seems to be changing week after week. And after The Rock setting the ratings on fire for Raw with 1.75 million people tuning in, of course they went up against 2 college football games, and they killed the demo 18-49 with a 0.60, which I don't think Raw has seen in a long time. So my personal feeling, I think it most likely has to keep yapping off CM Punk.
All right,
win the
that's
Royal Rumble.
time, Joe. Nice job.
No.
Oh, gonna be a tough one. That's gonna be a tough one.
Nice jump.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, he came at the end. He had some really good points at the end there.
That's what she said.
You're going to be up in the 30. And let's see, and go.
Well, the Rumble has always been one of my favorite pay-per-views. And this year, I said it a couple shows ago, it's one of the most compelling they've had in ages. I mean, you look at the men's side, Cody, Punk, LA Knight, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, either of the Uso brothers. Off the top of my head, I can think of a dozen winners that would make sense in storyline and be believable as winners of the Rumble. Unfortunately, I hate to say it, I have to think the final 2 are going to be Cody and Punk, and I think Cody's going to have to win it again, because he's got to complete the story. The idea of The Rock coming in and facing Roman Reigns just feels too forced, and Punk has already proven he doesn't need the Rumble to set up his match with Rollins, which I think is the other big title match that's going to happen. Of course, Gunther could be a wild card in there. I first want to think The Rock is coming to take Roman at the Elimination Chamber, but everyone forgets that's in Australia. I don't think they're flying The Rock out there for one match. As for the women's side, the story that I think makes the most sense and would be the most compelling is to have Bayley win it and have to go against her Damage Control buddies. They've already kind of hinted she's the odd woman out right now. And I think Bayley kind of turning face again, especially if what Joe said is right about Mercedes Moné coming back. Although rumbles are she's going to be in AEW, but I think it's about time Bayley turned face. The crowd wants it, and Damage Control would play such good foil to that. Put her in Io Sky, but that would be my pick: Cody and Bayley.
Nice, nice job.
Do we get the old Bayley back if she goes face?
You know what? I think just for her Mania entrance, I would have the buddies. Yes.
Yeah.
and you know what? Just because wrestling fans have that memory, put duct tape on them to show that she taped the ones she sliced up back together.
I love it.
Nice job. Nice job. Let's see. So looks like who's up next? Oh, it looks like Phil. You are next on the 30. And go.
Boy, what a great speculative question, Bruce. You know, the thing we like about the Royal Rumble is the surprise factor.
Kissing butt does get extra
typically
points.
number 30. Typically number 30 is can be really very, very much a surprise. I'm not going to predict they're going to dig up the Iron Sheik and he's going to take 30 minutes to come down the aisle and win it all, but I think so. You know, Punk does seem like the logical favorite. I don't think The Rock's going to make it to. I think The Rock is going to make it to the Rumble and to the pay-per-view beforehand, certainly, but I don't know if he's going to make it to Mania. There's this guy from New Japan who just left the promotion. I think he is. He's in the Samoan family, well, not directly related, but he would make a nice addition to the Bloodline story. But ultimately, I think Punk's going to be the guy. You know. Cody is a nice thought. You know, maybe the odds are there too. I'm not sure. But as far as the females go, as far as the divas go, I think it's going to be a surprise. I don't think it's going to be Mercedes Moné. I think she's AEW bound too. I think Camille could make a debut. There's some talk about that. Her contract's up. Or Jade Cargill, who was just. So I think there's going to be a surprise there. And I think they're going to challenge the Irish Lass Kicker for the title. So I think it's going to be more of a surprise in the Diva division right now, and I think they're going to pursue our Irish friend. Oh. But yeah, there's just so much possibility, man.
That's it,
you know,
Phil, it's over. I'm sorry, Phil. I'm sorry. Almost there, just 2 points. It was a great comeback. That was a great round, but unfortunately, we do have to say goodbye to you for tonight.
All right.
See you later, Phil. Happy New Year,
guys. Happy New Year. Take care.
So, Benny, it's going to come down to you. I know if anybody can do this, it's going to be you. You can definitely pull this off.
I'm really good at pulling it out.
He's on fire tonight.
That's what the Playmates say, anyway.
And Benny, let's see.
I'm already on there.
Nope. I prematurely hit the button. And you are on the 30 and go.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to need all 90 seconds this time, I think. So, yeah, let's do the women first. Well, of course, let's do the women first. I agree with Phil 100% that it's going to be a surprise. I do believe that it will be Jade Cargill, or as my Massachusetts people say, Jade Cargill.
Cargill.
I'm not sure where she is. I'm sure she's training very intensely. They have a lot invested in her, and I think and Rhea Ripley, geez, she's so she's on fire right now. I think that would be a very good rivalry. As far as the men, I think it's going to be Punk. I think it's a no-brainer actually because it seems like Rock and Reigns is inevitable at this point. And I actually think that somehow Roman is going to drop the title to LA Knight before Mania so that when he and Rock are going at it, it will not be a title match. I just have this feeling. So, and as far as Cody goes, I think he's just going to have to wait to finish his story. I think Punk's going to win the Rumble. And, I think it's going to be Punk and Rollins at WrestleMania. I think Cody's going to feud with somebody. I know he's feuding with Nakamura right now, but he's going to have to his story's going to have to wait a little bit.
And that is time. Let's see how we ended up here. Oh, I think those bonus points in the beginning, Benny, might have benefited you there. And
what's up with that?
So, unfortunately, Joe, we got to say goodbye to you, but stay warm down
problem.
there.
Happy New Year, everybody. What a day.
We'll see you later, Joe.
Stay warm, Joe.
All right.
It's just a second to get everybody
Getting nervous.
going. And now we have the final question. It comes down to the partners in crime, Dan and Benny. This should be fun.
And Dan's cat.
Yeah, yep.
Dan's
Yeah,
cat.
well, don't forget, Benny's got the playmates in his corner. So,
Oh yeah.
let's see, which one of these questions do we want to bring up? All right, this one. Let's see. Benny's going to be up first. So this is going to kind of continue off of that last question. This week we saw The Rock return in what appeared to be a challenge to Reigns at WrestleMania to prove who is the true head of the table. And now the newly returned CM Punk seemingly is on a collision course with Seth Rollins for those same big days. Where does this leave Cody Rhodes? Also, how does Damian Priest, who's been holding this Money in the Bank briefcase for quite a while, come into play coming up into WrestleMania? So, Benny, you are on the 30, and
Yeah, I mean, it's really funny because the one thing I want to bring up is I thought Jinder Mahal did a fantastic job as being the Rock's foil there. I mean, he really was on fire. And I thought to myself, well, you got Drew McIntyre there at Raw. All you are is you're one Heath Slater away from a 3MB reunion, right? I think it's inevitable. I do think that the title will not be on the line. Like I said in my Lance answer, I think it's going to be Reigns and Rock, and I think it's going to be an inconclusive match. I don't think it's going to be one of these things where it's going to be nobody's winning clean. I think it's going to be some kind of tainted victory. Somebody's going to help somebody. But yeah, I mean, Cody. I really think Cody has lost a lot of his sizzle. I mean, obviously he's still a top baby face, but I think with the addition of Punk, with the return of Randy Orton, I think his luster has worn up a little bit. So, I mean, there's no timeline on finishing his story. He can finish it. He can finish it post WrestleMania. There's nothing to say that he's got to win the title at WrestleMania. Do I think he's going to win the title? Hell yeah. He's got many good times ahead for him. But I just think that at this moment, there's a logjam at the top of the heap there. So he's going to have to just be patient and wait his turn.
All right, Benny, nice job. See how we ended up. Okay, well, that round it's a 9. So let's see if the champ can pull it out. If anybody can, he can. He's done it before. We'll see what he can pull out. Let's get Dan up on the 30. And Dan, you're on the 30.
Yeah, I have to agree with Benny. There's a logjam at the top with the faces. If you're not going to put the belt or not have The Rock and Roman at Mania, then you have to do something either at the Chamber or at the Rumble to put Cody and Roman together and then have The Rock come out and either stop the interference or in some way, kind of like they did with Shawn Michaels, where he screwed The Undertaker to get that last retirement match, to have The Rock make a point that Roman can't win on his own. But no, I think if they wait any longer than maybe SummerSlam, they've lost it. Cody is still probably one of the biggest baby faces they have, but he is losing the sizzle, especially if Punk continues to be as hot as he is. Merch seller, ticket seller, ratings boost, and then you bring in The Rock, and you've got LA Knight, and you've got all these other guys that are just bringing down all kinds of numbers. No, I think what they have to do, if they're not going to put the belt or not give Cody the Rumble win, then they have to do something at the Chamber to set him up to be the next big challenger, maybe even team with The Rock at some point. But if they don't pull the trigger by SummerSlam, I think the boat has sailed. Benny said there's no timetable on the story, but there is a timetable on fans caring about the story. And unfortunately, wrestling fans have a short attention span, especially if Punk continues to be hot and LA Knight continues to be hot. and you've got all these other Jey Uso, and you've got all these other stars that are ready to take Cody's spot if they don't pull that trigger.
Nice job, Dan. Really nice job. And how did we end up? Oh, the champ is defended.
Wow, all right.
All right. I'm sorry, Benny. I got to send you out of here.
That's all right.
But we'll be talking tomorrow on Wrestling Remembered. We're going to be doing a live version of Wrestling Remembered tomorrow night. It'll be somewhere around 7:30 p.m. We'll post up the live link. Can't wait. It's going to be me, Joe, and Benny. It should be fun. So, but see you later, Benny.
All righty. Take care.
Look at my fan over here that's excited I won. Look at him.
Dan, nice job. How does it feel to repeat as the 30 champion? You are only the second person to repeat.
I was going to say I've successfully defended the title twice now. That's got to be.
Wow.
I mean, I've already got the one record. Maybe I can go for the record on successful title defenses.
Yeah, I'm not as lenient with points as Mike was, but hey, you know, I don't think it's going to be a while till we see those 100-point days again. But listen, hey, great job tonight. I will talk to you sometime in the next couple days. And on behalf of the entire Monty and the Farrell family, thank you guys, and we will see you soon.
Take care, guys.